In this video, I will explain how to calculate net present value in Excel. So let's jump right into an example. This says, Sandy is seeking an investment from an investor for $50,000 to open a coffee shop that is projected to earn $15,000 each year for the next 4 years. Given a 10% cost of capital, should the investor approve or reject the investment? So the net present value, or NPV for short, is a metric that can be used to decide whether or not some investment or some project is worth taking on. Now, the first step to calculating the net present value is to create a table of cash flows. So in our particular example, we're told that it will take $50,000 to open this coffee shop. So what we type is in year zero, or in other words, the beginning of this project, we have a negative $50,000 cash flow. So we'll type negative $50,000 for year zero. But then we're told for the next 4 years, we expect to earn $15,000 each year. So in this table, for years 1 through 4, we're going to type $15,000 for our expected cash flow each year. Now, to calculate the net present value of this project, here's what we do. We first type the interest rate, or sometimes called the discount rate for the project, which we're told is 10% in this case. Then, to calculate the net present value, we type equals NPV, so net present value, parentheses. The first argument of this NPV function is the interest rate. So we'll go ahead and click this cell right here, then comma. Then we need to highlight the range of cells that has the expected cash flow for each year, not including year zero. So then we'll hit the closing parentheses. And lastly, to that NPV, we have to add the initial investment. So we'll click this cell right here. So this is the formula that you can use to calculate the net present value. So go ahead and hit enter. And when we hit enter, we see that the net present value of this particular project is negative $2,452.02. So when the result is red like this, that indicates a negative number. So when we're using NPV to decide whether or not to accept some investment, if NPV is less than 0, in other words, if it's a negative number, we should reject the investment because we're projected to not make money on that project. So one neat trick you can use in Excel is use an if statement here. So type equals if, and then we'll click the NPV cell. So if this cell is less than 0, we will reject the investment. Otherwise, we will accept it. And then close the parentheses. Now when you hit enter, we'll see that the decision is we should reject this investment because the NPV is a negative number. So we're not projected to make any money on this investment, so we reject it. So that is how you can calculate net present value in Excel.